Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of This Freakin' Show, the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. I am your host, Travis Day, and with me this wonderful evening,
Awkward Colin.
And Geek Cast Joe.
And this episode of This Freakin' Show is brought to you by the fine people at Fire Pit Bar and Grill. If you're looking for a down-home country restaurant that gives you a burger and beer for $6.99 every Monday and Wednesday, then you must stop at Fire Pit Bar and Grill, Peelton, Illinois. You can find them on Facebook at Fire Pit Bar or on their website, firepitbar.com. Before we get into our show tonight, there's a couple of things that we want to talk about and express our what's the word? Condolences? Condolences?
Condolences works, yeah.
Condolences. We want to express our condolences to a couple of tragedies or travesties. No, it's tragedies. That's been going on. Last Monday, a wildfire broke out in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. That has I don't know. I hate talking about this shit. It's so hard.
I know.
Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's a great tourist area that a lot of people travel to. I mean, my ex-girlfriend's mom went there like once a year, and like every time she came back, like she talked about like how great it was, and the pictures that she took were absolutely amazing. And this wildfire that broke out, and I think from the way it started was like a bad wind was coming through, like right around the time like everything was like dried out, the fall season and all this shit. Power line ended up falling into like a pile of like dead leaves, dead branches and shit like that. That's what ended up sparking it, and then these big gusts of wind just started blowing the flames like deeper and deeper into the woods that basically just started destroying Gatlinburg itself. But from the information that I found online, as of right now, they've saw that they discovered 14 people have perished so far in this tragedy. Along with that, 17,000 acres has been burned down, and almost 1,700 structures have been damaged from this. It's horrible. It sucks hearing about this stuff. I don't know a lot of people who listen to FM radio anymore, but when I do, and I listen to it a lot in the morning, this has been a constant thing that they talk about like every single day. And like it seems like it gets better, but I don't think it's getting better fast enough.
Yeah.
So it's
I've heard of wildfires down in the south, or a lot over the past month. And usually you think of California, they face it almost yearly, but I guess the drought's been bad this year. And Georgia, Tennessee, not Alabama, on the East Coast, middle South.
Yeah, well, and that's why I always thought like whenever like the word like wildfire came around in my mind, it's always California, just like you said, but it was like. It seemed like it was so constant. It was never really broadcasted. It was always small, and it was always like dealt with like almost like instantly. But like I mean,
because they have the it's like they don't really report snowstorms in Indiana like they do in Texas.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually was watching the news at work last week on my lunch break, and there was this family. They have this pond that's like right outside Gatlinburg, and they actually have hoses from their house going down to this pond, and it's been running for days just to keep the pond full, so choppers could come by, scoop the water up, and drop it in the woods and all that shit. Like it was like 3 or 4 hoses coming from this house, just keep going right into the pond and everything.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing to see that people are actually doing stuff like that too. It's not like these people are in trouble and everyone else should just watch it. I mean, there's actually people down there doing what they can to help out. I saw that like almost 150 people are in shelters and everything currently, without homes. A lot of like the hotels and resorts and everything are just completely gone. Dollywood's still standing, so I mean, there's that, but it's tragic, and it's it's hard to see. It's hard to watch, like, those situations happen and everything. And when you think that, one tragedy is enough, Colin mentioned to me, which I'm surprised I never heard of, another one that happened on the West Coast.
Yeah, we had an Oakland warehouse fire. They say the total now for casualties is up to 36.
Oh my gosh.
It was a warehouse fire that there was a concert going on at, and that it was a warehouse that was used for like artists to I guess work there. There was like just
Like studio?
Studio for them. But they said that they also have concerts, music played there and stuff at times. And they're still investigating the cause of the fire. But the entire building pretty much went up in flames, and they were saying that basically the artwork of these artists pretty much increased the fire. It fed the fire, and
petroleum paints and stuff.
Yeah. They said that like I said, they said casualties up to 36. 33 of them have been identified. And they're saying that 3 of the people are actually from out of the country.
Wow.
But they're saying that the ages range from under 17 up, so. But yeah, so they're working on that. They suspended the search this morning due to unsafe conditions. Whether or not they plan on continuing searching, I think is still to be determined. But for all those families that have lost someone, let's keep a prayer out for them.
Yeah. They're definitely in our thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. They also said there's 50 people unaccounted for. Not saying that they're there, they just haven't reported that they were there or something. So, but yeah,
okay.
Some tragedy hit this weekend. So.
It seems like no one can ever really catch a break. Like when it rains, it fucking pours. It's like it's like 2015 all over again. There's never anything fucking good.
Yeah.
But but we don't want this show to be all about sadness. We definitely want to kind of like lift some spirits. Again, thoughts and prayers go out to everyone in California and Tennessee. I think we could probably find some links to some kind of websites that are doing some kind of like I don't know if it's fundraising, but like relief, something like that.
Relief.
So, I mean, if anyone wants to help out, we'll put some links to some of those websites in the show notes for you, just kind of help you out, to where if you want to go somewhere to be part of, a group of people who want to help out these tragedies, we'll definitely help you do that. But kind of just, I don't know. It's just, I hate so much talking about it, so much. Should have done the pre-recording, Joe. You're better to articulate these kind of situations. You could use like words, and I could just be like not doing that. But it's cool though. But keep them in your prayers. And let's have some fun on the show tonight.
Damn straight.
Let's move on from the sadness.
Sounds good to me.
We're kind of just gonna move in right away to bring on some guests to talk about some of the things that they're I don't want to say hobbies, careers, passions. Joey, you can better explain it.
Yeah, so I've got some friends from my other podcast who we've had them over there before. And they've been working really hard for over a decade on a new role-playing game, like Dungeons and Dragons, but better in many ways. And so we've got them on the show tonight. I'm hoping Colin is lining them up as we speak. And they're very excited. I'm very excited. I've actually gotten to work on some of this stuff with them, so I'm pretty pumped about it. So yeah, and I'll wait until they're on to properly introduce them. So, but they're looking to kickstart soon, and so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, definitely. You ready for me to call them in?
Oh yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
What up, everybody? It's Razor.
This is Fear.
And MDI.
And we are Fifth Cast, the premier show of the FYFC Podcast Network.
We like to talk. Hell, we'll talk about anything.
World events and personal stories.
Technology and pop culture.
And once even, pterodactyl porn. Seriously, that's a thing. Google it.
New episodes are available every Friday on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Also, subscribe to the video podcast on youtube.com/FYFC podcasts.
I'm not sure why you were yelling, but that was excellent.
Now fuck your face and back to the show.
We said normal voice.
I know, but I like that one.
And we're back with our guests, my friends, Jason and Brett.
Hey,
How's it going, guys?
what? Where?
Joey, you suck so much at that.
I suck. I know I do. I'm not the guy who comes back from breaks ever. I'm here for my sardonic wit.
Hey, it works for me.
It doesn't. It's
Anyway.
not working for me tonight. I think that from now on, y'all should sing Christmas carols until the end of the year, and then whoever has that last note, whoever can hold it the longest, is the one that doesn't have to introduce the guest.
It just feels like you introduced them as like an awkward bump into at a bar with a one night stand. Like, oh, hey, you.
Oh, these guys, you guys from that one time.
Yeah, it's those two socially awkward guys I know who just came in and crashed my party. Yeah, these guys.
Have you met my wife, Karen?
Or in Jason's aspect, have you met my sister?
Just pay her and tell her to leave.
You're still over 40.
I ain't paying her.
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry. Joe.
No, it's fine. I should be better at this after 4 years.
I know, right? but go ahead. Go with what have you.
What? What have I?
Yeah, go with what have you. Follow your star.
Follow my. Yeah, I will. So anyway, we have you guys on to talk about your upcoming Kickstarter plans.
Yeah.
A certain game that I hid. I didn't reveal the audience, the names of the audience yet. So if you guys want to tell us about it.
Oh, wow.
Well, sure. It's called Stellar Chaos. It's a science fiction role-playing game that's been under development on and off since 1993.
90. Yeah.
Yeah, and
See, I was going to say 92.
no, well, that's kind of where the idea came from, but development didn't start until 93. And so it's got a completely independent game system behind it that's been grown, organically, no GMOs or anything like that. But so,
Extra
started back in,
MSG, though.
say that again, Brett?
Extra MSG, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to keep it salty.
Mhm.
Right?
So we started developing it back in 93 off and on. And at this point, we are just about ready to roll it out. So in January, we are filming the video pitch for the Kickstarter. And then at the end of January, very beginning of February, the Kickstarter is going to go live to help us launch the game but also to help us officially launch the company as an actual endeavor to put out additional games and more source material and such. This is our flagship game. It's called Stellar Chaos. It's a science fiction role-playing game using our proprietary play system called Flux, which has been developed to take in to account as much reality or realistic physics, universal physics and such, as can be without bogging down a system. But it's called Flux because not only can you have that, but it has additional rules that a game master can bring in if they want to tweak the amount of realistic gameplay or detailed gameplay as they want, or they can strip it down to its bare minimums and play a very fast and loose, streamlined combat system.
Yeah, see, and if you don't mind if I interject real quick, Jason,
Sure.
best thing about the Flux system in and of itself is, I don't know if y'all guys play any like role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that.
I have.
I think I'm basically the only one. Has Colin?
Yeah, I
Okay,
have.
okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. Sweet.
Okay. So, Colin, when you look at, and you've played it before, I know Joe has, you have your arbitrary level. And with our Flux system, there are no levels. You have different milestones, but you can't look in the book and be like, oh, well, at level 3, 4, or 5, I get X, Y, Z. This is more realism-based, If I practice my skill as a mechanic day in and day out, eventually I'm going to become a better mechanic, right?
Yeah.
So that's what our system revolves around. Or Jason will give you a great example about coding and computers because that's what he's really good at. But the whole system isn't well, what's this next level? What's this next milestone? It's more about character development. And yes, you can actually build combat ready human beings and stuff like that with our system. Or, you can actually, we have it in there where you can build Joe Schmo, the guy that goes to work every Sunday, Monday through Friday, working on helicopters if you want. It's a very open system. It's not something that I personally, in many years of playing different role-playing games, have come across.
I only know about 2 other systems that have level. To be honest, so level-less systems is not anything that's really new to the role-playing industry, but it's certainly not the norm. And in our case, the focus for character development is mostly on the skills, and the system in and of itself focuses very heavily on actual role-play aspects rather than, it's all about the dice rolls. Dice rolls come into play during the play, during gameplay, but there's a lot more emphasis and reward for players and for characters for doing role-playing stuff. So, for example, if a GM throws a puzzle at the player group, and the player group comes up with a plan of attack that completely is out of the box and throws the GM for a loop, there's guidelines in the game for that GM to heavily reward the characters with experience for coming up with that ability to work through things or to interact with characters in out of the box ways, so that it helps build that interactive storytelling that role-playing games really are trying to be. And with ours, we really in developing it, we just put a whole lot of emphasis on that rather than creating a game with solely a bunch of rules, a bunch of dice rolls. And, oh, by the way, you're supposed to have a persona for your character too while you're at it. We built it the other way around. You have your character, you build the persona, you learn about the environment that you're in within the game world, and then the dice rolls and all that just are kind of the way in which you interact with the game world, rather than that's pretty much the be-all end-all of the game system.
That's fantastic. I know I've heard this multiple times now, but I get excited every time I hear about it. I get excited again. That's just so good.
That's very awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
No, thank you. So tell us a little bit more about the game world that players will be interacting in.
Absolutely. So the game world is set about 400-ish years in our future. So it's not a vastly far in the future kind of situation or environment. It's 400 years. It's extrapolation out from today's technology and where technology companies and space companies and things of that go. So it tries to be very much a very plausible game universe. So 400 years into the future, and mankind has discovered best practices for colonizing other worlds, have created ways of terraforming, ways of collecting resources, and faster than light travel, and has colonized about 47-ish worlds out there. So there's a whole bunch of colony worlds that are ruled from central governments and corporations on Earth. So these colonies are out there, and then all of a sudden, contact and governmental rule from Earth just vanishes. No messages are brought back. Ships that go back to Earth never return. It's all a big mystery, and all the colonies are kind of thrown into chaos as they're trying to not only figure out what happened to Earth, who to point the finger of blame at, and garner their resources in order to keep themselves well governed, under control, and protected from other colony worlds. But they band together into nation states. So you end up with about 5 different nation states that are of these colony worlds. In a sense, so they're doing a lot of resource sharing, a lot of military build-up to protect themselves. They're loosely associated with the governments that used to rule them from Earth. And the while they're banding all together and such, they have sent back joint missions back to Earth, which never returned. So there is a universal ban on anyone trying to go back to Earth until there's a jointly decided upon way, jointly decided upon way to go back and explore the area in the safest way possible. And
basically, what it boils down to is 2 words: plot point. So,
yeah,
it is that. Sorry, Jason. It's just something that the people that run our games, our GMs can explore that. I mean, we have a canon reason for it, but we're not releasing that just yet. But it's something for our GMs to explore. It's not just like, well, here's the world. You can always go back to Earth. You got to throw in a little twist here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that we do have a like Brett was saying, we do have a canon reason for it. That's a planned future release. But as of right now, Earth in and of itself is off limits, and the colonies are working their best to survive. So at the time that the storyline starts, you are 42, 43 years since Earth went dark. So this is sometime after that. People are accustomed to being out and no longer ruled by Earth. And it's now colony, the different colonial states doing their thing to survive. And at that point, the actual storyline for the game, for the universe going forward, is completely up to the GM and to the players to write. So you can have 5 different GMs, and they all come up with completely different storylines from where the Stellar Chaos universe goes at that point. All of our expansions that are coming out for the game universe are planned in such a way that they are standalone events, standalone resources and such, so that a GM can take them and they have suggestions in it as to, these could possibly be the parties who are involved in the overarching story arc of this campaign or of this module or of this expansion. But the GM is ultimately the one who gets to decide how it drops into their version of the universe and who's involved and how it ties in with everything. So we are doing our best to provide a completely open storyboard for our GMs and our players to draw their own storylines on and make an impact.
That's so cool.
Yeah, sorry guys, we love our product, and we absolutely will talk your head off. So expect it for what it's worth.
Oh yeah, no.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah.
Makes our job so much easier. You have no idea.
Right.
Except for I end up so damn flabbergasted, I'm not sure what I want to ask next.
Well, the thing is, like, that's what I love about having guests on, is because if you listen to any of our previous shows, I do probably about like 75 to 80% of the talking, so it's wonderful to have a break.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Jason, and God love him, he made me sign a non-disclosure agreement about 8 years ago. And, all this stuff has been bottling up. Now, I can't imagine what it's been like for him. Like I said, he's been working on it since the 90s. And for me, it's just been, 8, 9 years now. And, this stuff's been bottled up. And he's like, oh, yeah, we can start loosening up a little bit. We can start talking about this. And I'm just like going crazy. It's just like, oh, my God, I can finally run my mouth because I won't shut up unless I'm told to. So.
Yeah, it's been an interesting ride over the last couple of decades with this, trying to make sure that, I can talk to people about it, but not release too much information, because for the longest time it was a one-person endeavor. And about 6 or 7 years into it, started out as a hobby, to be honest. It started out as a rule modification for an existing play system, and after I got into enough detail with it, it was like, no, I can turn this into its own game in about 3 months. So let me do that. And 3 months obviously was a gross.
Several steps of 3 months later.
Yeah, exactly. So it became its own beast, and I've been working on it, but I've understood that being a one-man band, as it were, if I let too much information out, somebody who either works faster than I do or has more resources than I do or whatnot could easily take my idea and run with it, and then I would lose it. So I've been pretty tight-lipped on a lot of the details about the system for such a long time. But now that we are this close to release, and we're getting so close to releasing the Kickstarter to help launch this thing officially as an actual product out there, it's like, yeah, okay, it's I have to remind myself a lot of times that I'm allowed to talk about this, and we're allowed to put details out there. So it's been fun.
You notice he says that he was very tight-lipped about it, and then he chooses me, and it took me 4 years to get off my ass. I don't even know if I can say that on your show, but whatever, to actually help him out in a full capacity. So.
Oh no, cussing's it's encouraged.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I mean we've had I think I've run probably about a dozen different playtest groups through the system through its many iterations, and it's the thing that's always excited me is I have received a lot of very good constructive criticism about the system as it was being developed, but most of it, the overall response I've received has been, when you release it, let me know. I want a copy. So it's been a hell of a rewarding experience getting through all this, honestly.
Yeah, I bet. Trying to think of how I want to phrase this question. So I would think that probably. What's that?
Just say it, bro. Just be blunt about it.
Oh yeah. No, I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm trying to ask. I would say probably a lot of our listeners would be into the idea of getting into a role-playing game, but I'm not sure that all of them have played one before. So what I'm curious about is how easy is it to pick up the system and play it without having any real role-playing experience in the past?
That's actually a really good question. And that's one of the things in developing this that I've kept in the forefront of my mind. And that is, a lot of role-playing games, paper and pencil, tabletop role-playing games, aren't necessarily easy to pick up and go with because, you've got this, 150, 200-page book sitting in front of you, and that's the quote-unquote rule book. And, for people who are used to maybe, either picking up a video game or a board game, you're used to a small, tiny pamphlet of this is how you play. And role-playing games can be a little bit on the intimidating side in terms of, you don't open up the rule manual. It doesn't say, you start here, this is your goal, this is how you get to your goal. So in keeping that in mind, the rule set, the Flux system, encourages new players to go with our most stripped-down version of the rules, which is basically, these are the core set of rules, these are immutable, these are the few things you need to know in order to conduct actions within the game. And they're very straightforward and very simple, very few modifiers and things of that nature to the rules. Same thing with, weaponry and equipment and whatnot. Their interactions are very, very basic. You have X weapon, it does this amount of damage, or these kinds of die roll for damage when you use it. And it's left at that level. For more experienced players, and even more experienced players coming in from other games, this is where the Flux system really shines. There are so many additional layers you can put on there. So your weapon that did X in the stripped down version, well, okay, what if you add these equipment accessories to that, and you change the ammunition out to this? How does that affect what you can do? Your character now has many different ways to interact with the environment to affect their, ability to conduct combat, or their ability to hack a computer system, or their ability to bargain their way, into a VIP club or something of that nature. So it gets...
Your game masters can really, I believe Jason said it before, I don't know if he said it here, but, your game master and our Flux system can literally dial in the amount of realism they want to do from, I attack with my gun. Do I hit? Yes, I do X damage. To I attack with my gun. That guy's behind cover, well, I'm going to have to try to defeat that cover and then try to get to that person's armor. You can dial in exactly how much realism as a game master in the system you want.
Yeah, and because it's focused on role-playing, too, it's not always about just the rules. I mean, for example, the last game that we played, which some of the guys from Geek Cast were involved with, we had a fun charge into a guard room where two of the characters leapt over the desk and surprising the two guards there, and managed to give them shotgun sandwiches for lunch there, and defeated them. And a lot of that was... Say that again?
Take that back. I shot one of them with that 45 caliber pistol. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, that's true. But either way, I mean, but a lot of that
At point
action
blank,
was
it might
all
as well be
through.
a shotgun.
Yeah, well, yeah. But a lot of that action wasn't concerned with, okay, well, pick out these dice, roll to see if your dexterity gets you over the it was all through role play description of what they wanted to do, and I as a GM took into account whatever armor they were wearing and the distance they were covering and things of that nature, and let a lot of the action happen through role play. And so the whole thing was just a lot more fun in that respect.
Yeah. You're not slowed down with, do a dexterity check and an initiative roll, and you're gonna fumble the gun, all this other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, those things can happen, but you're not sitting there rolling dice for every single small thing. I mean, if you can, like with Jason and how the system is, if you give a real good description to the game master, or in the case where I've been testing it with Jason, that's what the system's developed for. If you give a real good description and you're really into it and you're really focused and you're having a good time, have a good time. Enjoy the game. Don't try to play it like a video game.
That is a solid point. I'm so upset that I didn't have time to play that game with you guys.
Didn't you make a character, though?
I think I got like 75% of the way through making a character, and then I wasn't around for the game that you guys, like the first or second time that you guys played.
Right.
And by the time, any time after that, it was just like, well, I'm so far behind, I'm just not even going to.
Yeah, we could have.
Now I'm upset. I regret. Shame on past Joe.
Yeah. You'll have to get in on the next one.
Yep.
Does that mean I get to come and hang out, I guess, at Gen Con and walk behind you with that bell and just scream shame now?
Nice.
You're also welcome
Because
to
I
bring,
will.
like
I will find that bell.
Yeah, I'm sure. You're also welcome to bring me like a nude morph suit.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I got it.
As long as it's legal.
Now let me ask you: is that nude colored or is that nude graphic on the outside of the morph suit?
I'm gonna go nude colored, just because I don't want to accidentally get in trouble.
Oh, you don't want to have a giant dong hanging out?
There you go.
No, I might be willing to be persuaded to wear something underneath the suit that indicates a large swinging thing.
We could just.
So wait, are we going to go full Spinal Tap and just get the cucumber wrapped in aluminum foil?
I'll allow it.
Oh, dude!
Okay.
You just gave me an idea, Brett. At Gen Con, we've got to build foam hinge for our booth.
Oh, Jesus. Do you really want to do that?
Why not?
Only if Joe agrees to help.
Yes. I'll help.
Okay.
Do we know
It was a
anybody
blind
who's
arbiter.
exceptionally short?
What's that?
Do we know anybody who's
Trap.
exceptionally short?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Probably short.
You're not short.
Go run through foam hedge, kicking it over.
How short you looking? Because I know a guy.
I don't know. I guess we could build
I-
foam hedge to scale to him.
Yeah, I'm not saying I know a short guy. I'm saying I know a guy to get me short people.
Oh.
Yeah, there's always a guy
My
for something.
Oh, yeah.
I know a guy. He says you're going to take the mafia route. Yeah, I know a guy.
Yeah, we need 3 short people. Yeah, I'll make a call. Come on.
There you go.
That would be awesome if I could find somebody that said that with a stone cold sober face. Yeah, I can get that. Give me a minute.
He hops on the phone.
I I would lose it, man. I'd be like, what are you doing? You
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're going to stop the interview for this week. Make sure you tune in next week to catch part 2 of it. And just to be honest with you guys, this is only halfway through the interview. There's so much more coming on, literally twice as much. I think that's what halfway kind of means, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Twice like the
You're
same,
halfway through.
right? The same amount as this time is going to be next time. But it's really exciting. Make sure you check it out. They're going to not only talk more about their game, but they're going to help Travesty learn more about the game, the tabletop game, the strategy. They're going to answer some of the questions I have. They're really going to help me grow my knowledge of the game to where maybe one day I can be a game master. So if you don't know what that is, you're going to learn about it next week.
Yeah.
Right. So make sure you tune in. Really, it's not knowledge just for me, but it's knowledge for all. Speaking of exciting knowledge, you're up, Colin.
Hey guys, it's this Freakin State of Mind here. You know what time that means? That means to learn about fun facts about your wonderful states. This week we have Colorado. Colorado,
Just Colorado, then Connecticut. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. The the funny thing is, me and Chaz were talking about that earlier too. So, for you that are new joining us, it's our section where we talk about facts about the state. Don't count them all as true, because I get them off the internet where everybody gets their information, which is not always true. So, I try to make it be true, but in my mind they are. But let's get this kicked off right now. Colorado is the only state in history to turn down the Olympics. And that was in 1976, which were the Winter Olympics in Denver. And which, to me, I don't blame, because you always hear that, the Olympics always just are pretty much a waste, because it costs so much money to have them, and then it's just trash, because the places just sit there. So
yeah, or you got to tear it down after you spent all that money putting it up.
But it says that it was planned to be held in Denver, but 62% of the state voters chose at almost the last minute not to host the Olympics because of the cost, pollution, and population boom it would have on the state. So, I mean, that's understandable. Then we go, there is a town called Fruta, where they have a celebration called Mike the Headless Chicken Day. Apparently this farmer had amputated a chicken back in 1945 in the anticipation of having dinner. But turns out the chicken actually lived for another 4 years.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I guess that's where that saying comes, chicken with its head cut off, right?
Yeah.
But,
oh man.
Yeah, that was very interesting to me. Apparently, Colorado is the host to the highest paved road in North America, which is the road to Mount Evans, off the I-70, and it climbs to 14,258 feet above sea level.
Damn.
Apparently, 1/3 of the land of Colorado is owned by the federal government, which that's a lot of land.
Yeah, it is. Colorado's a big state.
Yeah. So
It's freaking huge.
yeah. The 13th step at the state capitol building in Denver is exactly 1 mile high above sea level. So, When you go there next time, stand on that 13th step and yell, "I'm a mile high!" There is the Dwight Eisenhower Memorial Tunnel, which goes between Clear Creek and Summit counties and is the highest auto tunnel in the world, which is bored at the elevation of 11,000 feet under the Continental Divide, and it is 8,960 feet long.
Wow.
And the daily traffic exceeds 26,000 vehicles.
Holy shit.
So,
Man.
seems like a pretty long.
Yeah.
Pablo, Colorado, is the only city in America who has 4 living recipients of the Medal of Honor. Interesting. Apparently, according to this, the world's first rodeo was actually held in Colorado on July 4th, 1869 in Deer Trail. Interesting. It's not where I would expect the first rodeo to be held.
Me neither.
Rocky Ford, I believe that's a city, has been dubbed the melon capital of the world. Yeah. I hope they have good melons there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mesa Verde, I have heard of that. Features an elaborate 4-story city carved in the cliffs by the ancestral Pablo people between 600 and 1300 AD. The mystery surrounding this ancient cultural landmark is the sudden disappearance of thousands of inhabitants who created more than 4,000 identified structures. It kind of sounds like what's the Mayans? But that was or the Aztecs, one of them.
Yeah, down in Central America.
Yeah. That's almost kind of what that sounds like to me. Colorado is home to more microbreweries per capita than any other state. The Kit Carson County Carousel in Burlington date back to 1905, making it the oldest wooden merry-go-round in the United States. It is the only wooden carousel in America still with its original paint.
Wow.
Yeah. The highest suspension bridge in the world is over the Royal Gorge near Canyon City. The Royal Gorge Bridge spans the Arkansas River at a height of 1,053 feet. I would not want to fall from that. Colorado. Oh, this goes along with our other state. Colorado, southwest corner, borders Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. The only place in America where the corners of 4 states meet.
That's true.
So we learned that back when we learned about Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So now you won't be hearing about the next one it's for quite a while. Then we have in 1859, John Gregory discovered the Gregory Lode in a gulch near Central City. Within 2 weeks, the gold rush was on, and within 2 months the population grew to 10,000 people in search of their fortune. It came to be known as the richest square mile on Earth.
Jeez.
Yeah. And that is some facts about your good old state, Colorado. So, thank you for enjoying another episode of This Freakin State of Mind.
That was fascinating.
Yeah.
Per usual.
So, Joe,
Yes.
so you said you had it was mentioned that you had our guest that we had on tonight on your show.
We have.
Now, did you guys?
Yeah, I actually think. What's that?
Yeah, I said. Did you guys talk about the same stuff basically?
Yeah, it was very similar. I think it was on our show about a week ago. A week or two ago.
Okay.
I don't
So
remember.
not actually
Yeah.
not that long ago.
No, not that long at all. They actually, it's been, I think we've been trying to get them on our show for about a month, but they've been so tight-lipped about things, it's been really hard to coordinate exactly when they can come on the show and talk about things.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well-
and we've had them on a couple times in the past, but
Oh, okay. So this wasn't
But
the
back
first
then-
time you've had him on.
no.
Oh, okay.
No, but this was the first time that we had them on that we could actually talk about stuff.
Yeah. Well,
So,
they
That was
definitely made. I'm sorry, everyone, for me yawning. It's getting that time of night. It's definitely was very fun listening to them. They can, like they said, definitely talk about their subject. But that's always
Yeah, it's
very
definitely
good thing to
something-
know.
they're very passionate about it, and for good reason. I mean, it's a pretty exciting thing, especially if you're into role-playing games, but you're not into how rule-heavy D&D can get.
Yeah.
Like, their system is great for that, and I'm really, I'm so bummed I haven't played with it. Like, I've heard so much about it, and I can't wait. I'm
So
very
your
excited.
other host played with them.
Yeah, Ryan and Rob got to do it.
Okay.
So-
Why didn't you?
I didn't have time. I was just starting school again
Okay.
up in Chicago, and so it didn't work out.
Well, now you can start with me.
What's that?
Now you can start with me. You and I going
Yeah.
together with it. Con too. All three of us. We can all do it together.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
It'll be like that High School Musical song. We're all in this together.
Now, did they just do it over the phone?
They probably do it over Skype. That's how they
Okay.
did it before, was over Skype.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. I was like, how are you gonna do that? It's not in person.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess nowadays it's pretty easy to just communicate like that.
Yeah. I think that's actually how we all met. Was Rob Bass was running a Game of Thrones campaign, I think, and they were in his Game of Thrones game.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Right.
So all sorts of different role-playing games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listeners.
Hey, Con,
Yes.
what you freaking on this week?
This week I'm freaking on that I'm on pretty much my last week of my semester. I
That's
just have to do my one programming assignment, and then I have my final. So then I will have completed JavaScript.
Sweet.
So. What about you, Joe?
Netflix recently changed their thing so that I could download stuff.
Oh
for
yeah,
offline.
that's right.
So I finally caught up on Stranger Things.
Nice.
It was so damn good. I watched the first 2 episodes before he moved, and I haven't had a chance to watch it since then.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. Like, I actually went and re-downloaded it, and then, the first opportunity I get, I'm sitting Lady Science down, and we're going to watch it again. She hasn't seen it yet, so.
Speaking of Stranger Things, me and Travis were talking about C2E2 recently,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently 11 is going to be at next year's C2E2.
That's awesome.
Yeah, along with Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter.
I love her.
Yeah.
So
Who
much
knows,
for that.
who knows, Joey, maybe you could make a trip back home for with us.
Possible.
Yeah, maybe.
Seriously consider that.
Well, what about you, Travis?
Oh, thanks for asking. This Friday, the 9th. Actually, technically it'd be yesterday because this will be released on Saturday. December 9th. Fuller House Season 2 comes out, so I'm excited for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gonna binge watch it again?
Oh, fuck yeah. It'll be done in one night. After I get through these fucking phones and dispatching and bullshit, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to sit on my couch for a couple days. Sunday, getting a Christmas tree. So that'll be fun. Yeah. But mostly Fuller House. I'm excited for that. I don't know. I just love how they can take an old childhood TV show and make it slightly raunchy. So, plus they're like older now. So like when you look at them and like think how hot they are and shit like that, it's not as bad. So.
I mean, you were their age when they came out the first time, right?
Oh god, they're definitely older than us.
Oh, they are. I know they're older than me. I guess I always forget that you're not that much older than me.
Yeah, I mean we're like a year apart, Joey.
Hey, but it's all right. You can think they're hot just as long as they don't think you're hot.
Yeah. I mean, like it's all one good, like knowing like how, like, you know, when we watch them fall, it's like, wow, right now they're like super fucking hot. But to watch like an old episode of fucking like Full House, and like you look at like DJ, who I think was like 15 maybe or 16, like the episode, you can't be like wow, she was really hot. It's like literally like you understand it, you know, obviously at that time, you know, she was obviously younger, so saying it's kind of fucking creepy.
That's fair.
You know, but now they're like adults and they have kids and everything. So I'm like, you know, she's banging, you know. So it's kind of like, yeah, you know, she got the right idea. I mean, even though she has a Cameron and like her fucking brother's like a fucking oddball. Kirk Cameron, if you want to come on the show, you know, I'll retract everything I just said.
That'd be cool as shit to have Kirk Cameron on.
We'll see if we can get a hold of him. We'll find an email or some shit. Oh, God. But until then, hey, Joe.
Yes.
Every week, our listeners can catch Geek Cast Joe here on this freaking show. But if they need to get more Geek Cast Joe, where else can they find you?
If you need more Geek Cast Joe, you can find me over at the Geek Cast Live podcast at gcl.ninja. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, SoundCloud, Twitter, and YouTube by searching Geek Cast Live.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for enjoying another episode of this freaking show. Like always, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram just by searching This Freaking Show. You can find us on Podbean, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play. You just go to our website, thisfreakingshow.com. You contact us through that. Send us your comments, questions, concerns. If you know a local band that you find entertaining and you want to share with the world, let us know who they are. Send us a song of theirs. We'll play it on our show. We'll play it at the end, and we'll promote the shit out of them. Just because, like, that's what we do. We like to help out, you know, other people get their word out there, because that's what the voice of podcasting is for, is to verbalize everything to society.
True.
Yes. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I am Travis Nick.
I'm Awkward Colin.
And I'm Geek Cast Joe.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of This Freaking Show. I'm out.